Welcome, my dear students. Welcome, my dear students. Welcome, my dear students. Welcome, everybody. This is your teacher, Usama Kashwa, and this is a new video about the Canadian culture. Okay, we'll move ahead now directly to what we came for. Regarding the Canadian culture and these points we will talk about right now. So in the Canadian culture, it's like very important things, aspects like what I will talk about now, that you get in line. So all the Canadians are used to get in line, to line up, get in line and wait for your turn. For buying tickets, waiting in a bank, post office or whatever, or bus or train. So it's preferably always to be in the line. It's very rude here in Canada to cut in line. And although people may not say anything to you, they will be very unhappy, make a very unhappy noises. So be always in line. This is the first point. So whatever, this is the culture of lining up. In Tim Horton, you'll find it in Starbucks and McDonald's. So you'll find people always are lining up, and they don't like try to make a smart things like passing the line or passing someone. This you won't find here. If there is any confusion about whether there is one line or more for several different cashiers, you should still wait your turn and stay behind everyone who arrived before you. Canadians do not try to get to the front first. They are very fair. You will often hear people saying, "Who is next?" The general rule is that you are next if you were the first person to have gotten in line. So always try to be in line. Smoking. Regarding the smoking outdoors in public places is illegal in Canada. With no exceptions. There are even certain areas outdoors, such as near building entrances, where smoking is prohibited. Most homestay hosts will ask you to smoke outside the house. Actually, it's like around 9 yards or 9 meters from out of the house or out of the building. You can smoke around 9 meters. But no smoking within or inside the building. The third thing is the drugs. Buying and selling illicit drugs is illegal in Canada. If you are found carrying drugs either in school or public, you may be arrested and deported from Canada. But now, drugs is not prohibited and by law, but you have to buy it from special locations where the government is monitoring and watching and controlling this activity. The fourth thing is regarding the woman. Women in Canada are seen as equal to men. This is very important to know. And should be treated fairly. That's fine. It is normal for men and women to do an equal share of household tasks and childcare. So men and women share the responsibility in Canada. This may not be the case in certain more traditional Canadian families, and every couple has their own arrangements. So as example, for some communities, they prefer that women stay at home, take care of the kids, and some other communities and some other cultures, they think that the life must be shared between men and women 50-50. So this is regarding the culture itself and the background and the way of thinking. Safety for women, this is very important too. It is not a good idea for women to walk around on their own at night. Make sure that you use registered taxis and try to stay with a group as much as possible. This is regarding the woman to feel safe in Canada. How about the personal hygiene the personal hygiene in Canada? It's very important too. We have the restrooms here, the restrooms in Canada. It is customary to flush the toilet. You have to do this after use and to dispose the toilet paper in the toilet. Ladies' sanitary napkins should, however, be placed in a trash can. Tissues also. This we are talking about the personal hygiene, the cleanliness, a person cleanliness. It is a Canadian custom to blow your nose with a tissue. Some people keep a tissue or handkerchief up their sleeve on their pockets. Okay. Up their sleeves or in their pockets. Spitting is a very rude behavior in Canada. Spitting in the ground or in public. Spit in public is not nice. A very rude behavior in Canada. Water, the water. The water is in taps is clean enough to drink and brush your teeth with. Some people prefer to drink bottled water, and some people filter their water in a pitcher before they drink it. What about the meal times? Most Canadians eat 3 times a day. Breakfast can be a small meal of cereal, toast, yogurt, and some fruits. On the weekends, Canadians may eat a more substantial cooked breakfast of eggs, bacon, or omelette, according to preferences. The people in Canada usually eat a light lunch. Soup, sandwiches, or salad are the most common food. So soup, sandwiches, and salad are the most common foods here. Okay. Choosing for a weekday lunch. This is normally eaten between 12 and 2 p.m., where is the break of the work and the time of the work break. So as example, if the break is usually for most of the works in Canada, mostly the breaks is around 12 noon, and they take like around 1 hour for a break for lunch break. This is the most commonly here in Canada regarding the lunch break. In Canada, evening meal is usually between 5:30 and 7:30 because work usually in Canada, the culture of the work, is that the work from around 8 or 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. in the evening. Most of the works goes by this timing. Most of them, I'm not saying 100%, but like 80% or more. For that reason, the dinner or the evening meal should be after around from 5:30 to 7:30, depending on when you will arrive home. This is actually called supper or dinner. Supper or dinner. It's the same name in the United States, supper or dinner. It is normally a large meal consisting of meat, fish, vegetables, dish made with eggs, pasta, and pizza. So this is the main meal. It might be the main meal because it's including the vegetables, meat, fish, dish made with eggs, pasta, or pizza. However, there's another choice for the Canadians is the eating in restaurants. Canadians are very polite to waiters in restaurants. If you want a waiter to come to your table, you should raise your hand, but not snap your fingers. To attract their attention, when they are close by, you should say, "Excuse me." Also, for the tips for the restaurants is around 10%. In some restaurants, like some cuisines, you have to pay around 10. It's not mandatory, but it's like something like this. It's a custom that the people pay around 10%. Some people, of course, they pay 5% as tips. And it's left up to you, it's left up to you. Canadian table manners and customs. This is another point. If you put your knife and fork on your plate, a waiter will think that you have finished eating. So when you put the knife and fork in the plate, that means that you are done for eating. If you want to take a break but have not yet finished, place your knife and fork by the side of your plate. That's very important. So when you put the knife and the fork inside the plate, that means that you are done and you finish eating. But if you put the knife and the fork outside of the plate, that means that you are taking a break and you want to eat again. You need to eat again. A good waiter will not clear your plate from the table until you have finished eating. In Canada, it is considered very bad manners to put your elbow on the table and speak with your mouth full. Yeah, not nice to put the elbow like this on the table and speak with mouth full. It's also not right to make a lot of noises while you are eating, chewing noisily, and slurping are bad manners in Canada. Tip like it's customary to leave a tip of 15% of the bill at the end of the meal unless the bill says gratuity included. So if it says gratuity included, that means you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. But if it's not written in this sentence, gratuity included, this one, that means you have to pay around 15%. Actually, I know a lot of restaurants, they pay only 10%, and some people, they pay whatever they like. But this is the most regular part, or the most common is around 15%. Eating in public. In Canada, it's not acceptable behavior to eat and drink in the street and on public transportation. You should not eat in shops, banks, offices, or in post offices. It's illegal to consume alcohol in public parks and beaches. So here also, this is another point. Do not eat in public transportation. But you see sometimes some people are coming out of this customs, like they have their own coffee in Tim Horton or whatever, or Starbucks. They have it in the trains and the subway, particularly because maybe a shortage of time, because the people don't have time to wait and sit and drink their coffee, and they have to go to work. So they take, by the way, their coffee to work. Alcohol. For the Canadians, it is illegal for young people under the age of 19 to consume alcohol. So if you want to consume alcohol, you should be more than 19. If you look younger than 30, you may be asked to provide your ID in the form of a passport or driver license. So you might be asked to please show me your ID. You need to show photo ID to get into a nightclub. So to go to a nightclub, you need to show the photo ID regardless of your age. So even though in the nightclubs, you might be asked to show your ID. It is acceptable in Canadian culture for a man and woman to drink as a form of social behavior. It is acceptable in Canadian culture for men and women to drink as a form of social behavior. Club bar closing time. So in Canada here, downtown clubs close at 3 a.m. Other clubs close at 1 a.m. So the downtown is 2 hours more. They close by 3 a.m. Bars and pubs close earlier, depending on the location. 10 or 15 minutes before this time. The barman will say last call. They will say the word last call, meaning that is your last opportunity to order another drink. So when I hear the word last call, this word last call, which is in the frame, that means it's a final opportunity to have one more drink. How about the stores in Canada? The stores opening time, they usually open between 9 and 11 a.m. Stores always close between 5 and 9 p.m. So those are the opening and the closing of the stores, most of the stores in Canada, between those two times. Of course, exact times may vary according to the location. Where are you? And so on. Major stores are usually open late until 9 p.m. on Thursday and Friday. Stores in Canada are open all day. The stores in Canada are open all day. They do not close for lunch. There are some convenience stores, drug stores, and supermarket. Drug stores, you have the drug stores like Shoppers Drug Mart, and you have also Rexdale. So all these are drug stores. And supermarkets like Metro, you have also No Frills, Giant Tiger. All these are supermarkets which close at midnight. Some of them are open 24 hours a day. So some of, like Metro's example, is open 24/7 in some branches. Sunday opening. Most large stores are open on Sunday, but may close earlier, So as example, Dollarama here in Canada, it's working on Sunday as well, but they close a little bit earlier, like around 6 p.m. they close. It depends on each store and what the time it's opened and what the times it's not opened. So you have to check out, like if you Google search for where you're going, if you write as example, shops or stores near me, and you will get from Google search the stores near you ordered based on the distance. So you can see, because each of them will write closed or opened or closed. So in that case, you will know if it is opened or closed. The bank and the post office opening times, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday from 9 to 3. Some banks do not open on Saturday or Sunday close. So here is example now, bank and post office times, usually from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m., 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, they open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Some banks do not open on Saturday in Canada. Sunday mostly closed, though even, exact times may vary according to the location also. So you can search this in Google as well to know which branch closer to you is opened or closed before you move from your house or before you move from your residential. It's easy for students to open bank account in Canada. All you need to do is 2 pieces of ID, such as your student card or the passport or the driver license. Sometimes there is a cheaper bank fees. If you can show them that you are a student, then there will be a cheaper fees for you to open a bank account. As an alternate to banks, there are also credit unions in Canada. You may wish to check around for the best services and fees for you. The hydro or the electricity. In Canada, they call it the hydro. Standard voltage in Canada is 110 volts, yes. And the plugs have 2 flat prongs, same as in the United States. So Canada and the United States, the plugs is different than the Middle East or Europe type of plugs. Please bring adapters with you if you wish to use electronic equipment from your own country. The clothing. How about the clothing in Canada? Canada is a country of cold weather for more than 6 months a year. So I expect that there will be also some points regarding the clothing. Students tend to dress casually during the daytime at school. They may wish to bring special clothes to going in the evening, and some bars and clubs will not allow you to enter if you are wearing jeans or sportwear. Here we go. Look at this. Some bars and some clubs will not allow you to enter if you are wearing jeans or sportwear. Vancouver has a moderate climate. In Vancouver, it is not very hot and humid in the summer, and it is not very cold in the winter. So it's like a moderate weather. Okay, or moderate climate. There are 4 distinct seasons. The winter in Vancouver are in the middle, in the mildest in Canada. It really snows except in the mountains, but it does rain in the winter. So bring umbrella for this reason. This regarding Vancouver. If you are staying in homestay, You should ensure that you are decently dressed all the time. It may cause offense if you are not dressed before you go to the breakfast, for example, but it is a good idea to follow the example of the hosts with regards to what is acceptable. How about the roads? What you will do on the roads? In Canada, we drive on the right side of the road. If you are accustomed to driving on the left, remember to look in the other direction when you are crossing the roads. Speed limits in Canada. In residential areas, it's 50 kilometers near parks and schools, 30 kilometers unless indicated otherwise. On free highways, it's from 80 to 100 kilometers unless indicated otherwise. Sometimes they say the maximum speed may be more than 100 or less. It depends on where you are. Crosswalks. Crosswalks are designated places for pedestrians to cross the street. You should not cross a street where there is no crosswalk. There is usually a sign at the crosswalk indicating when you should cross. The public transportation, or what we call it TTC here in Toronto, the buying passes or transfers. So you have a Metro Pass, you have a transfer. You can take a transfer when you go from an area to another area. Sitting down, if you get on a bus or a train, it's acceptable to sit down next to someone. It's acceptable. You don't need to ask. If you arrive at a spare double seat, you should sit next to the window and leave a spare seat for other people to use. So yeah, if double seat and they are spare, no one is sitting, sit near the window and leave the other for any person's seat. It is considered impolite to sit on the side aisle and expect fellow passengers to climb over you in order to sit down. So just make for them a space so they can sit. If someone is seated next to you and you want to get off the bus, just say, "Excuse me." Okay. There are priority seats in Canada, which is colored in blue. On most buses, the color is blue for the priority seats in Canada here. These are reserved for seniors, the disabled, pregnant women, or people traveling with very young children on their arms. These are called priority seats. It is okay to sit on these seats, but you should get up and offer your place if any one of the mentioned above people came, if a senior came or a pregnant or a woman carrying a child on her shoulder. So in the case, leave for her this priority seat and look for another place to sit. There are also the FIDO phones. There's a lot of companies which are working in the cell phones. Okay. What about the social behavior? The personal space, we talked about this before. You should not start too close to people when you talk to them. Canadian people find this uncomfortable. So you have to leave a social space between you and another person. It's like a 2 arms or 3 arms space. Meeting and greeting. Most people shake hands when they meet for the first time or informal situation. When people are good friends, they will sometimes hug each other to say hello, goodbye, or thank you. Eye contact is very important in the Canadian culture. In public and particularly on public transportation, people avoid making eye contact with strangers. That's true. Because if you're looking at someone, it might tell you why you are staring at me or why you are looking at me. That happened to me many times before. Most people either read or look towards the ground slightly rather than people's faces. So it's better not to look at people's faces in the public transportation. People in Canada find it uncomfortable if they feel as though someone is watching them. So they don't like anybody to be watching them. Excuse me. There are many occasions to use excuse me or sorry to be polite. Here are a few examples. We say excuse me or sorry if we bump into someone or if someone bumps into us. We say also sorry when we haven't heard someone. So if you didn't If you are listening to someone and you didn't hear properly what he's saying, then say, sorry, could you repeat again? I didn't get you. Sorry, I didn't get you. Excuse me precedes any intrusive questions. Like as example, if you have a question, excuse me, do you know if this train stops at the West Bender Street? As example, excuse me, do you have the time? Excuse me, this seat is free. So you use always the word excuse me. We sometimes say excuse me, please, when we want to attract someone's attention. Also say excuse me. PS and QS. Children in Canada are often told to mind their PS or QS. P is please and Q is for thank you. Whenever you ask someone to do anything, you should say please, and whenever someone does something for you, even if it is part of their job, you should say thank you. So when you get out of the bus, you have to say, you must say thank you. Even though the bus driver, this is a part of his job. It's a part of the job driver to drive, but you still say thank you. When you get out of a taxi, you should say also thank you. You should say thank you to a waiter who's giving you the food, or thank you for a shopkeeper when you pay and he give you the change. When you are offered something you don't want, you should never say no, but you should always say no, thank you. So if I have something I don't want, I'll say no, no, thank you. You should say please when they ask a taxi driver to take you somewhere. I would like to go to Vancouver Aquarium, please. So you will say please also whenever you need to go somewhere. When you are offered something you want to answer, you should just be I. It should always be yes, please. So don't say yes, say yes, please. So here are the things which we need to know about the Canadian culture and things which you need in your daily life experience when you reach Canada. Shall stay safe, everybody. Have a good day and see you by the next video. Thank you.